Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
The new era begins now in the United Kingdom as the world mourns the loss of Queen Elizabeth. King Charles ascends the throne and delivers his first address. Glad you're with us for Local 4 News at 5. In his first televised speech since becoming king, Charles delivered a tribute to his mother.
He also committed himself to living up to her life of service. He says she was an inspiration and example to him, and he owes her a debt for her love and affection. He also praised William and Kate, proudly naming them Prince and Princess of Wales, and mentioned his love for Harry and Meghan. The speech ended with this poignant moment.
And to my darling Mama, as you begin your last great journey to join my dear late Papa, I want simply to say this: thank you.
Queen Elizabeth II was not only Britain's longest-serving monarch, but she was a global icon, a diplomat, and a model of steadiness in people's lives for the past 7 decades.
Proof of that can be seen right here. Live pictures from Buckingham Palace, where people are gathering right now as the clock hits 10 p.m. in London. NBC's Matt Bradley is there with more. Matt.
Well, it is indeed a historic and solemn day for Britons and really for people throughout the world. What we witnessed here was the new king, King Charles III, arriving from Balmoral, Scotland earlier today. He arrived not to his normal residence at Clarence House, but just around the corner at the big house, Buckingham Palace. And that's where he was greeted by throngs of people who were desperate, who were really interested to see their new king, even as they mourn the monarch who has been with them for almost all of their lives, for almost every Briton. So what we saw was an outpouring of affection in public. And in fact, one woman even reached forward and kissed the new king on the cheek. Crowds erupting into the national anthem, God Save, the now retitled God Save the King. And then we also, at a ceremony in St. Paul's Cathedral here in London, heard the first official recitation, the first playing of that song with the new title, God Save the King, with only a few different lyrics changed to accommodate the king instead of the queen. This is the first step in what is going to be 10 days of pomp and ceremony that's going to unfold all the way from the north of the country in Balmoral, Scotland, where the queen died, down to here in London, in the south of the country where I am. The queen's casket is going to be transported by train, and it's going to lie in state behind me in the Westminster complex before she's finally transferred to Windsor Castle, where she will be interred alongside her husband. Matt Bradley, NBC News, London.
Okay, Matt, thank you. And to give you a sense of the weight of the Queen's passing, the British Premier League, a focal point of life in England, has suspended all matches this weekend.
Back here on our side of the Atlantic, makeshift memorials have been popping up all over the country, including this one outside the British Embassy in Washington. That comes as the White House confirms President Biden will be attending the Queen's funeral in London. Alice Barr in Washington tonight as tributes pour in. Alice.
Good evening. Queen Elizabeth was Britain's longest reigning monarch, but her influence extended across the globe, and today Americans are in mourning too. Today in Britain, gun salutes and chiming bells for Queen Elizabeth II, who led the United Kingdom through generations of war and peace.
We've all known just one queen. She's the person that we've always looked up to.
Across the Atlantic, America is mourning too. President Biden saying he will attend the Queen's funeral.
I don't know what the details are yet, but I will be going.
He was the last of 14 U.S. presidents to meet with her, going back to Harry Truman. The strength of that alliance now on display from mourners outside the British Embassy in Washington.
This just seemed like such a significant moment.
To a moment of silence in Los Angeles before the NFL season kickoff. Time standing still for the monarch who saw so much change under her 70-year reign. Her son Charles, now King Charles III, greeting mourners outside Buckingham Palace and addressing the nation for the first time as king.
She is mourned most deeply in her passing. That promise of lifelong service I renew to you all today.
At a memorial service today, the British national anthem officially changing to God Save the King, marking a new era after the passing of an icon.
Tributes to the Queen have been pouring in from lawmakers here on Capitol Hill to all the living past presidents, reflecting on her public legacy and private moments of warmth and charm. In Washington, Alice Barr, Local 4.
All right, Alice, so as the president's itinerary expands, important to note that before he heads to London for the Queen's funeral, he will still be here in Detroit Wednesday to tour the North American International Auto Show.
I'm Tim Pamplin in Westland. Breaking news at this hour as a gunman hauls up in a local church after a pursuit. This all started in southwest Detroit. Police were after a suspicious person at a gas station with a ski mask and a gun. Several agencies were involved in a pursuit, finally ending here along Palmer Road, west of Vinoy. Let's head upstairs to Sky 4 for some aerial video and take a listen to a young lady who was caught up in the drama.
Next thing you know, you see the cops shooting and the guys shooting at the cops and the guys running towards the church. That's like traumatic. Like, you don't ever want to see something like that or be in the middle of a shootout.
Now, just across the road from this situation is Adams Middle School. I'm being told that school was put on lockdown briefly while the police sorted the situation out. But again, crossfire between an armed man and various law enforcement agencies in Westland ends up with one man in custody. Fortunately, no officers were struck. One Wayne County Sheriff's cruiser did take on the gunfire. But again, no injuries out here. One suspect in custody. That's the scene in Westland. Tim Pamplin, Local 4.
All right, Tim. So it is Friday. We've all got one eye, of course, on the weekend weather.
So let's check in with meteorologist Kim Adams with the 4-1 forecast. Kim, looks like one day might be better than the other here.
Yes, for the record, too, Devin, I have both eyes on the forecast at all times. So you don't have to. We have a nice weekend ahead, but we do have a slight chance for a couple of isolated showers. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. But right now, let's enjoy this beautiful Friday night. 83 at City Airport, 82 in Pontiac. As we look at temperatures over the last 24 hours, we've seen a bit of a warming. This is the 24-hour temperature change. So yesterday at this exact same time, it was 3 degrees cooler. So it's warmer today by about 3 or 4 degrees than it was yesterday. And it looks like we'll warm up even a touch more perhaps tomorrow. Kickoff for the Canton-Plymouth game tonight is beautiful. A lot of sunshine. You will need your sunglasses at the beginning of the game, but by the end of the game, you might need your jacket with temperatures dropping down into the 60s as we head toward midnight. Nice day tomorrow, but a slight chance of that shower. We're going to talk about more timing of the rain for the weekend coming up.
Okay, Kim, thanks. It's official. When you head to the polls this November, you will be able to decide on 2 hot-button constitutional amendments. Michigan's election panel voted today to put abortion and voting rights on the ballot after a big court battle. Local 4's Grant Herms is live, and Grant, the path to get here has been quite contentious.
Kimberly, it certainly has. Contentious and historic, starting back in June with that controversial decision from the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade, to something as small as people combing over typesetting and spacing on this petition. Let's not forget here the historic number of signatures on this petition. Either way you look at this, it will be a major factor as folks head to the polls here in just 59 days.
Signify by stating aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0.
Abortion on the ballot in Michigan this fall. After a court order from the state Supreme Court, the state board of canvassers unanimously deciding, putting whether abortion should be part of the state's constitution to a vote of the people. Today, several people made their voices heard in the meeting, 5-1 in favor of the vote.
We are asking the politicians not to get involved and not take our voices away. We know what is right for us.
And now I don't have the right to tell a woman that, that they can have an abortion or whether they got to give birth to the baby. So it's not reproductive freedom for all.
Just before the vote, one of 2 Republican members of the board saying their opposition before the court order wasn't partisan, despite it being split along party lines.
It really, truly wasn't partisan. And I have to tell you that the process did work, but we would have raised that same process no matter what proposal was in front of us.
The vote also sets up major implications for the rest of the ballot this fall. In the latest Local 4 Detroit News poll, abortion was a motivating factor for nearly 60% of strong Democratic voters, compared to just 15% of strong Republicans. All of it setting up a major fight with abortion, both literally and figuratively, on the ballot. Now, this does come one day after a state court of claims judge ruled that the state's 1931 abortion ban is unconstitutional. That decision will more than likely, almost certainly, be appealed to a higher court, but at least for now, abortion is still legal in Michigan as we look to November. Back to you.
Now, Grant, there was also another big initiative approved today called Promote the Vote. Hasn't gotten as much coverage, but it's a pretty sweeping measure as well.
Yeah, it really is. So that would do things like make mandatory drop-off boxes, expand early voting, and do away with mandatory voter ID. You could also vote with a signature as well. Now, opponents have their own issues with that portion of it, as well as an issue that would allow the state legislature to decide whether people currently serving their sentences in prison to vote from while they're incarcerated. We've got all the details for you up right now on clickondetroit.com.
Yeah.
Back to you.
We appreciate that, Grant.
The construction on Hall Road in Macomb County has been bad enough. Today, it was made worse. Police had to shut down the eastbound lanes because of a natural gas leak. This is video from this afternoon over the leak in Macomb Township. The closure was right at Groesbeck, which is in the heart of that construction zone.
Activists are using the closure of Lafayette Coney Island as an example for the need for restaurant grading in the city of Detroit.
Councilman Scott Benson, who proposed the restaurant grading ordinance, appeared alongside community activists at the protest. They say Detroiters deserve better, and restaurant owners have to be held accountable.
We want to make sure that everybody is able to get to that green placard, but we're also making sure that we're incentivizing public health and safety and transparency, as well as educating our residents.
The Detroit Black Business Alliance has come out against the proposed ordinance, saying it will unfairly impact minority-owned businesses. The issue is set to be debated at Tuesday's City Council meeting.